What's up, homies? It is Ryan, and we are here with episode 21, I believe, of our Miami Marlins franchise here on Out of the Park Baseball 18. It is Wednesday, October 5th, 2022. The regular season is over. I decided to simulate up ahead until the end of the regular season. The playoffs actually begin today, coincidentally. The Marlins finished 56 and 106, 38 games back in the NL East, and obviously pretty far back in the wild card race. It looks like we finished 37 games back in the NL wild card race. It was just a very bad season for us. You see, we finished 15th in runs scored, batting average, OBP, and home runs. We did finish second in stolen bases, although before he was traded, Luis Soto definitely helped contribute to that. And in pitching-wise, the four base categories here, we finished 14th in runs against, 15th in starters ERA and defensive efficiency, and 8th in bullpen ERA. Now, I'd like to take a look at the standings to see if we were the worst team. I assume we would be. 56 and 106. No, wow, oh my goodness. 48 and 114. So we were not the worst team in the Major Leagues. That belongs to the Seattle Mariners, who we traded Alfredo Despain and Amani Abdullah to. Let's see what they did. Wow, so they were just awful in everything. They were 15th in runs scored, batting average, runs against, starters ERA, defensive efficiency, 14th in OBP and bullpen ERA, 12th in home runs, 10th in stolen bases. Let's see what happened here. Wow, Andrew Moore went 1-19 with a 6.19 ERA. Who is this? Tanner Houck went 4-16 with a 5.37 ERA. Wow, 53 games back in the AL West. That is pathetic. It seems like it's a good thing we traded Alfredo Despain when we did, I guess, yeah, because he really fell off a cliff as soon as we traded him. So that was a good call by you guys trying to trade him for whatever we could get, because he has really, really started to decline, although it seems like he's only signed through this year, so I doubt they're going to bring him back. But still, wow, that is quite the fall off. Now he was OPSing close to 800 with us, and of course that 1 year he OPSed well over 800 with us, close to 900. And now he is OPSing at a 672 clip. He only hit 13 home runs this year in Seattle and 110 games started. Amani Abdullah, it seems like it's a good thing we traded him when we did. I guess Sonny Gray is a reliever now. He did not have a very good year. This entire team did not have a very good year. Wow, that team was awful. I thought my team was bad, but goodness gracious, that team was pathetic. But, the Marlins did not have a very good year, so it seems like we will have the second pick in the 2023 MLB draft. Taking a look now at the lineups. We did call up Tim Tebow when the rosters expanded. He ended up starting 24 games for us, and he did pretty good, I think. He hit 080, 100, 159, and he OPS'd at a 259 clip, so I think he did pretty good. You see, he did have the 2 home runs, the 9 RBIs. He struck out 42 times and he walked twice. So overall, a pretty good stint there in the major leagues for Mr. Tebow. In all seriousness, I knew the season was, screwed anyway. So I figured, why not? We would just call up Tebow, see what he could do, give him a chance here in the major leagues. We're not going to bring him back. So, if we do, he's just going to be in the minor leagues, I suppose. But you see, he's 35 years old. So we are not going to see him in the major leagues ever again. He never played above Double-A in this file. And I figured, why not? Let's just give him a chance, see what he can do. And he proved us right by OPSing 259. Now, in real life, I really hope that this guy does succeed. Of course, he has age going against him. As you see, he's already 35 years old in 2022. So age is definitely a major issue for him, but I'm rooting for the guy. I wish him all the best in real life, but in this save, he did not do very well. But you see, he would make a great manager someday, and I saw multiple comments in the last video mentioning that perhaps coaching was the reason that this team has been so awful over the past several years. And to be honest, I would probably agree with you. It does not make sense why some of my talented players just fall off a cliff when they come up to the big league squad, whether it's by calling them up or through a trade, free agency, whatever. And I took your suggestions to heart. That's not the right phrase. I can't think of the right phrase right now, but I did fire, where'd I go? Yeah, I did fire my bench coach, my pitcher coach, and my hitting coach at the end of the season, one day after the season ended. So we will be looking for some new coaches this offseason, which is great. Now, I'd be interested to see if there's anyone... Actually, no, I don't want league history. I want available personnel. Anyone intriguing right now, not scouts. I want Just anything, I suppose. Pitching coach. I know you can't go off reputation. The only way you can really tell is if you go into commissioner mode and you take a look at the ratings. But I'm not going to do that. I just want to see if there's anyone interesting. Perhaps maybe managers. I want to see who's available. So Freddie Gonzalez is still kicking around. He's only 58. Really? He's that young? Wow. Let's see. Wow. So he was really managing late. So he ended up going from the Atlanta Braves to the Chicago Cubs. Made the playoffs twice with the Cubs in his 3 years there. Won the Manager of the Year award in 2008. I remember that year. That was a fun year. Very fun year, let me tell you that. But let's take a look at the rest of the statistics for your Miami Marlins, sort by OPS. The only guy that OPS'd over 800 was Jared Kelenic. Excuse me. He slashed 296, 373, 448 with a 119 OPS plus. He was close to a 2-win player. He stole 9 bases. 11 home runs, 57 RBI, struck out 83 times, walked 47. BJ Boyd, in limited starting time, he only started 54 games, had a solid year. He OPS'd at 775, a 107 OPS plus. The only other guy, other than Kelenic, to have an OPS plus over 100. Lucius Fox did okay here after he got traded from the Rays to Miami. He slashed 280, 343, 395. He was close to a 2-win player as well. Stole 27 bases. Now, I believe is that just for us, or is that with Tampa Bay as well? I forget. So that was, okay, so that's combined. With us, he did 266, 333, 376. So he was close to a 1-win player. So he did pretty well with us. John Dean, in what was his debut season, he hit 256, 306, 357 OPS at a 663 clip. He was a negative win player. I imagine most of that is because of his defense. He's not very good defensively. Although he can do some stuff with the bat. No home run power, but I would actually like to see what I could get in a trade for him, but we will wait on that. No home runs, 28 RBIs, 13 stolen bases. He was caught 4 times, 75 strikeouts, 24 walks. Michael Chavis, and before I go anywhere, I remember one person said I did not show the ratings for that Red Sox trade, so I will do that right now. Oh, that's convenient. Okay. So we got Michael Chavis, you see here. Now, I don't know if any of these have changed recently since I made the trade, but right now his eye is not very good. His avoid strikeouts, that's not a strength of Mr. Chavis's. But he does have okay contact skills, solid gap power, solid home run power. He isn't going to kill you, I guess, at third base. There's obviously better options, but he's not going to kill you. Good leadership skills and an extremely hard worker. He is well respected by his teammates. Those guys are always good to have in the clubhouse. You see in his debut with us, he hit OPS at 657, 6 home runs, 31 RBI, struck out 81 times, walked just 15. So those eye and avoid strikeouts ratings, you can see him clearly there. Who else we get? We got Dan Borthwick, a guy. He is currently half a star right now, though, I believe. Yeah, OSA really loves this guy. Now, I'm going to trust my head scout a little bit, but I figured OSA loved the guy, so I would take a chance on him, although you can't really trust OSA in most cases. You see, he was one of their top prospects. He's currently in the South Atlantic League for us, and he actually did pretty well there in the South Atlantic League with Greensboro. In 6 games started, he pitched to a 2.37 ERA. The BABIP was league average, a 1.59 ERA plus, 22 strikeouts to 13 walks. So I'd like to see that improve, but well, we'll see. We'll see if he ever develops into anything major. He's only 21 years old, so it'll take some time. Juan Brito, another guy. I believe this is a guy that OSA loves. Our head scout, not really. OSA actually thinks he's a neutral for ground ball, fly ball tendency, but Theo thinks he is a fly ball pitcher, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. Stamina is not that great. It's passable, I suppose. Our head scout, Theo, thinks he'll have pretty good stuff, okay movement, control will never be there. Now, see, that's why OSA thinks that the control will really improve as time goes on. He is only 21 years old as well. Solid cutter, solid curveball, solid forkball. Theo thinks the changeup will never improve, and OSA would tend to agree with that. In his time here with our low-A squad, Batvia, 3.63 ERA in 9 games started, 38 strikeouts to 15 walks, a 1.32 whip. He struck out close to 8 batters per 9 innings, walked 3. So not a bad debut in our minor league system for Juan Knuckles Brito. Alexander Campos is also a guy, I believe. Okay, so OSA doesn't really like him as much. It doesn't look like... well, I guess it's about the same. So this guy's probably never going to amount to much. I got him just because I think it's always nice to have these guys in the organization somewhere, just speed and defense guys. Decent teammate who loves chili dogs. Can't fault the guy for that. Spray hitter, line drive hitter. In his time with our high A club in Jupiter, it seems like he got called up pretty quickly after playing with our mid A club. He slashed 295, 367, 428. Now, obviously, he's not going to do that at the major league level, but still, it's nice to see that he has some offensive ability, and he's not just all speed and defense. We will see if he ever makes it up to the major leagues. At this point, I doubt it, but you never know. And Jason Groom, Jersey kid, you'll see here. Yeah, he's from Barnegat, New Jersey. I actually got to see him pitch before he was drafted by the Red Sox in the draft last year. I believe OSA does not like this kid anymore, unfortunately. He is 24 years old, but he's a former top prospect, and I figured I'd just throw him into the deal just to see if we could salvage anything from him. And it seems like he is a relief pitcher at this point, which is probably a good thing. The stamina rating is not there anymore. So we'll see if he ever makes it up to the major leagues as well. But the main guys in the trade, Chavez, Borthwick, and Brito. And we'll see if Groom can ever recoup some of that value he used to have. Big kid, 6'6", 230. You see, he was the number 8 prospect. And that is who we got in the Boston trade. So hopefully you guys are happy about that now. I'll go back to lineups. Was there anyone else I really wanted to talk about? Carpio did all right, I suppose. I imagine he did okay defensively. That's why he wasn't a total negative for wins above replacement. Fielding stats. Yes. Where is he? Oh, okay. So he was 22. Oh, okay, yeah. So he played shortstop. I mean, he wasn't really that. A 4.24 range factor, minus 0.3. I mean, he wasn't awful, I suppose. Wasn't as good as he was made out to be. I don't know. He OPS at a 630 clip. We'll see if he can do better next year. It's probably going to be in our starting lineup just because of his defense. Michael J. De La Cruz did not do very well in his time. Christian Hicks, not either. Sky Bolt cannot take advantage of that starting job. He was awful. OPS at a 571 clip. Guerrero was not very good. Vasquez, he's not an offensive guy. Neither is Roland. Cortez did not do very good when he returned. Tom Flacco did not do good in limited time. Only 25 plate appearances. And we talked about Tebow. Now, pitching-wise, this team was even worse. Braxton Garrett went 2-19. Now, you guys have heard me talk about how I don't really like pitching wins and losses, but still, that's just pretty outstanding to see. He went 2-19 and 146 and a third innings pitched. He pitched to a 5.23 ERA. Michael Ballman did pretty good in his debut with us. He pitched to a 4.29 ERA, which I'm not too upset about. This was his first full year in the major leagues, with the Mets and us. He started 14 games. He struck out 59, walked 38. If he can improve on that just a little bit, I think he'll be a little better. And you see, he walked 4.4 batters per 9 innings, 6.8 strikeouts per 9, a 0.314 opponent's BABIP. We'll see if he can improve next year. Eric Doherty, the guy I was really high on, he had a rough go of it with us. He pitched to a 6.07 ERA, very, very inconsistent. Although it seems like 3 of his last 4 starts, and actually 4 of his last 5, he really turned things around. But he was really inconsistent early on. He had to deal with an injury or two. He pitched 12 games for us, started all 12, of course, 49 strikeouts, 32 walks. So another guy with control issues, a 1.65 whip. Walked 5 batters per 9 innings, struck out about 8, a .326 opponent BABIP, 72 ERA plus. That is not good. That is not what you want to see. And hopefully he does turn it around. Of course, he does have the potential, I believe. Yeah, our head scout and OSA really like him, and OSA thinks he's going to have excellent control. So we'll see if that is indeed the case. Of course, he's going to be in our starting rotation next year. Johnny Bontranger, we called him up because he was doing excellent at AAA New Orleans, and he rewarded us in 5 games by pitching to a 3.46 ERA, 20 strikeouts, 6 walks. He will be in the rotation next year, and he might actually be our number 1 on opening day from the looks of it. He is actually on my Arizona Fall League team. Who will hopefully win this year. I know we've had some issues with them in the past. Nothing bad, but we just haven't gotten very far in the past couple of years. So hopefully that Arizona Fall League team does make some noise this year. Anyone else worth talking about? Edward Cabrera had, I guess, an okay season. Wasn't completely awful, not like Braxton Garrett's, but AJ Moore, he came off the disabled list and did not do very well in 14 games started total this year. He pitched to a 6.56 ERA. It seems like, he was okay when he came off the disabled list. He had a quality start there, only lasted 4 1/3 here. We did go to a 6-man rotation, as you could tell at the end of the season. That was probably his best start since he came back. He went 7 innings against the Mets line, just the 2 earned runs on 6 hits, 9 strikeouts, no walks. He'll be in the rotation next year, I would imagine. And who else? Michael Baum. Yeah, okay, so I talked about all these guys. The bullpen, I could have been better. Caleb Dirks wasn't awful. You hear me say they weren't awful. Like, Caleb Dirks wasn't awful. Colon wasn't awful. Sixto really rebounded. He had like a very tough start to us to his time here. His ERA was well over the double-digit mark for a while, but it seems like he really rebounded as the final couple months of the season went on. Austin Franklin probably had the best season out of everyone after we acquired him from Tampa Bay. Jose Barrios did pretty well. Pavetta, that ERA is mostly because he was very inconsistent when he was starting. And Liam Hendricks, he was okay, I suppose. I'm not going to bring him back. I know that I forget if Loria or Loria Jr. wanted us to bring him back, but I'm definitely not going to bring him back. His ratings are not good anymore. And AJ Minter, he had a solid year as well as our stopper. Not a very good year for your Miami Marlins. With all of that said, I'm going to simulate until the end of the playoffs. I don't even know who made it, so let me actually take a look and see who made the playoffs. So the wild card matchups, the Rangers and the Yankees, the Braves and the Nationals. Let's just see who wins these games first. That way we can see all the teams that made the playoffs. I know I could just end up going to the standings, but I kind of want to just see the matchups. So the Braves defeated the Nationals in their playing game, and the Yankees defeated the Rangers. So your divisional series matchups, the Rays and the Yankees, the Indians and the Astros, and in the NL, the Cubs and the Braves, and the Mets and the Dodgers. I will be back in, I suppose, sometime late October, early November when the World Series is over to take a look at who won the World Series, how our Arizona Fall League team is doing, and decide what we're going to do this offseason. All right, it is Tuesday, November 1st. The Cleveland Indians won the World Series. We'll get to that in a second. Just a quick update on our Arizona Fall League team. We are currently tied for first in a very competitive Eastern Division in the Arizona Fall League. The Mesa Solar Sox are 9-9, tied with the Salt River Raptors and the Scottsdale Scorpions. We'll see if perhaps they can make the championship this year. That would be outstanding. But as I mentioned, the Cleveland Indians won the World Series this year for the first time since 1948. They won it in 5 games against the New York Mets. So just to take a look at what happened in the playoffs, the Rays defeated the Yankees 3-1. The Indians defeated the Astros 3-1. And in the NL, both series went 5 games. The Cubs defeated the Braves, and the Mets defeated the Dodgers. In the LCS, the Indians and Rays series went 7 games. The Indians won, of course, in 7. In Tampa Bay, the final score of Game 7 was 8-6. Francisco Mejia was the series MVP. And in the NL, the Mets defeated the Cubs 4-2. Your series MVP, and that one was Desmond Lindsay. And as I mentioned, the Indians won the World Series in 5 games over the Mets. The series MVP was Fernando Perez, who seems to be quite the good player there for that Cleveland squad. And the offseason starts tomorrow, so let's simulate up ahead a day here. Let's see, are we going to get fired? I guess we'll find out soon in about a few seconds here. Hopefully we don't get fired. My season score this year is just 1, but it looks like I was not fired, which is good. So we have not gotten fired just yet, which is always good. Oh, another thing I forgot to talk about. Dustin Peterson. Let me see. I believe that was his last name, right? Peterson? Dustin Peterson. Where is he? Where is he? I suppose it would have been easier just to type in Dustin Peterson. Here he is. Yeah, Dustin Peterson. With us, he had to retire because of a career-ending injury. I know it doesn't say it there, but if we go to his injury history, it was a severe, that's how the game categorized it, as a severe injury to his head. He just had it's crazy looking at this now. I never really realized this until now. He had so many issues with a concussion. So he had a concussion in 2019, a concussion in 2020, a concussion later in 2020, post-concussion syndrome in 2021. And this year, I imagine that severe head injury was yet another concussion. So, sad ending to Dustin Peterson's career in his time in the major leagues. He slashed 239, 301, 383, 684 OPS. 3 years with us, 3 years with the Atlanta Braves, although he did spend most of his major league career with us, it would appear. He had 23 total home runs, 96 RBIs, non-stolen bases. He struck out 207 times, walked 63. With an 87 OPS plus. So Dustin Peterson retired due to a severe head injury. Always sad news, but the offseason did start today. If we go to mail and news, let's see what the issue is. Let's see. Are there any good people that got posted? Let's see. Not that we're going to have the money for any of them, because we never do. Although it will be interesting to see how much Mr. Loria does. Market size drops. Oh, no. Our contract got extended. Okay, so a lot of stuff happened here. Your task this year was to play 500 ball, and from my point of view, you failed that goal completely. Well, from whose point of view? Like, that's kind of interesting. From whose point of view would this season have been a success, like, from that view? Like, if I was to play 500 ball, who would look at that 56-106 record and think, he was close, but I don't know. You and I may have different points of view where the team should be at this point. I guess so. But I would like to see you try harder. I'm disappointed that he decided against committing long-term to Liam Hendriks. He sucks. I don't expect us to see eye to eye on every point with this team, but I definitely thought we did on his value to our team. I guess we did not. He still wants us to sign Liam Hendriks. He's down there. Okay. I gave you a goal in 2022 of making the playoffs in a few seasons. My deadline is not up. I only gave you the task last year and didn't expect immediate results. However, I'm not sure I feel too confident right now. I won't jump to conclusions, but I hope to see some progress towards this next year. I'm good with your performance at accomplishing the goals I have set out for you, or I've given you. That being said, what I ask of you is not the only thing to evaluate you on. My overall mood of your performance is not nearly as cheerful when I include what the team has done on the field and what results I've seen in the boardroom. Next year, he wants us to play 500 ball, upgrade at third base, improve our starting pitching ERA, sign Liam Hendriks. We're not going to do that. Improve our team attendance from 16,942 to 22.6, and reach the playoffs in the next 2 seasons. So our market size drops. You've just been informed by the team owner. The latest research has shown that the market size for the Miami Marlins has dropped to below average. That's bad news, which will influence your budget in a negative way in the future. Our new budget this year, you will have $112 million available for total team expenses. Given your current spending on staff and other costs, this should allow you for a team payroll of around $80 million. Oh, my goodness. Tim Tebow has retired, so I guess he just wanted that one chance in the major leagues. So Tim Tebow has retired. I guess he'll go back to the SEC network full-time now and go from there. Our contract has gotten extended for 1 year, so I guess I'm just getting these 1-year contracts. We did lose our scouting director, right? Theo's not coming back, so we need a new scouting director, bench coach, hitting coach, pitching coach. Justin Thaxton. Oh, this is, I don't know why I'm getting that. All-season arbitration. New owner in Arizona. A new general manager will be needed in Seattle. Mike Matheny finally got fired in St. Louis, and the Padres need a new GM as Psyche got, looks like, fired. 52 years old. The dismissal was amicable, and both sides parted without any harsh words. Oh, well, that's good. So, let's take a look at salary arbitration. I do not want to bring back Pavetta. I think his time here is done. I don't want to bring back Poteet. I think his time here is done. I would not be against bringing back Caleb Dirks or AJ Minter and JT Riddle. I think his time with the Miami Marlins organization is done as well. But I would like to bring back AJ Minter. Okay, he does not want to come back. Fair enough. I mean, I know I could get him back on arbitration, but if he doesn't want to be here, I'm not going to bring him back. Let's see if Caleb Dirks perhaps would like to come back. Yes, he would be. Okay. Now, his arbitration estimate is 2.4, so as always, let's see if we can get him for 2.25. No. What about perhaps then 2.3 just to save some money? Okay. So we're going to get Caleb Dirks for $2.3 million under his arbitration estimate of 2.4. We're not going to bring back Liam Hendriks. I would not be against bringing back Jose Barrios as long as he doesn't want like a ton of money. I don't want him for that long. We'll give him maybe... Oh, no, whoops, that's not what I wanted. Would you take maybe like $1 million over 2 years? Okay. So we'll get Jose La Máquina Barrios for $1 million over 2 years. And that is that. And now, as I did last offseason, I'm going to simulate ahead because now I'm going to look through all the minor league free agents, see which ones I want to keep, which ones I'm going to just let hit the free agent market. And by the end of this, by the time you see me next, we'll go over the award winners, see who has hit the free agent market, and go from there. Okay, it is Friday, November 18th, 2022. The AFL playoffs have begun, and we made the championship in the Arizona Fall League for, I believe, the first time. The Mesa Solar Sox are going up against the Peoria Javelinas in the AFL Championship, which is awesome. Let's go through the awards first. First, the Gold Glove in the AL, Corbin Martin, Wilson Ramos, Brandon Belt, Jorge Mateo, Joey Gallo, Dixon Machado, Dalton Pompey, Daz Cameron, and Sean Reynolds. And in the NL, it was Antonio Santillan, Jackson Reitz, Michael Franco, Ozzy Albies, Kevin Maitan, Orlando Arcia, David Dahl, Jaron Kendall, and Champ Stewart. Your relievers of the year in the AL, it was Yuki Matsui, followed by Damian Magnifico and Dylan Betances. In the NL, it was Kenley Jansen once again, followed by Adam Liberator and Mark Melanson. Your Silver Slugger Awards, first in the AL, it was Francisco Mejia, Connor Godert, Fernando Perez, Joey Gallo, Francisco Lindor, Clint Frazier, Andrew Benintendi, Nomar Mazara, and Rafael Devers. And in the NL, and by the way, Devers was actually just called up in real life. I'm excited to see how he does. In the NL, Daniel Norris, Tom Murphy, Luis Davalos, Ozzy Albies, Chris Bryant, Edmundo Sosa, Aldrem Corredor, Alex Verdugo, and Bryce Harper. Top rookie in the AL was Sean Reynolds, followed by Xavier Edwards and Calvin Mitchell. And in the NL, it was Jaheim Nanton, followed by Terso Ornelas and Dakota Robbins. Now we are looking at Manager of the Year. Kevin Cash of the Tampa Bay Rays won Manager of the Year. And in the NL, it was Robbie Hammock of the Chicago Cubs. Cy Young in the AL was Michael Lorenzen, followed by Blake Snell and Shintaro Fujinami. And in the NL, it was Noah Syndergaard, followed by Josh Hader and Clayton Kershaw, who in real life just hit the disabled list for the next 4 to 6 weeks. Definitely a shame. MVP in the AL was Nomar Mazara, followed by Francisco Mejia and Fernando Perez, pair of Cleveland Indians teammates. And in the NL, Luis Davalos won MVP, followed by Noah Syndergaard and Bryce Harper. So our team did make the playoffs in the Arizona Fall League, and I did offer some contracts to coaches, by the way, so we'll have to wait and see if we get any of them. I hope we did. I think that they're going to be a lot better. So we get Carney Lansford as our hitting coach. I think he'll be pretty good for us. Can't be any worse than what we've had in the past. But it is time for the... What do I have to go to? I think I go to Arizona Fall League. It's time for the playoff game here in the Arizona Fall League. Go to my Mesa Solar Sox. And, so I actually just press that. So your Mesa Solar Sox finished 20-12. Our pitching staff was great. First in runs against, starters ERA, bullpen ERA, and defensive efficiency. We were second in runs scored, second in batting average, third in OBP, tied for fourth in home runs, first in stolen bases. We did have some injuries. Jordan Adele, who is with the Indians organization, partially torn labrum. He'll be out for another 3 months. Mason Davis day-to-day for 8 weeks. And Phil Irvin is out for 3 days, So the Mesa Solar Sox finished 20-12. Let's take a look here and see how the other team did. Go to standings. Come on. Yep, 17-15. They were the Peoria Javelinas in the Western Division, finishing ahead of the Glendale Desert Dogs and that team from Surprise. So no further ado, let's get into this game here. Let's take a look at the starting lineup. So the starting lineup for your Mesa Solar Sox. It'll be Garrett Whitley in center, Mason Davis at short, Cameron Barrett in first, Ryan McBroom is the DH, Javon Shelby at third, Justin Thaxton in left, Dalton Wheat in right field, Steve Bean at catcher, and Elliot Soto at second base. Starting pitcher is not going to be him. It's going to be Johnny Bontrager, our guy, 80% rested, so yeah, we will go with that. And go back to options and preview. And the starting lineup for Peoria, Ryan Bolt at center, Matt Oldham at catcher, Sean Coyle at second, Narciso Crook in right, Darius Moses in left, Deion Stafford at DH, Nick Vilter at first, Jake Hager at short, and Brandon Dixon at third base. The starting pitcher for them is Jordan M. Guerrero. So let's get into it. Let's see if we could win the Arizona Fall League Championship. I hope I had the sound off. I think I did. Hopefully I did, because if not, I'm going to be a little upset. But let's see here. Let's go half inning here just to start off with half inning. So Mesas gets on board first there in the first inning. Go to the game log there. Let's see what happened. Mesa Solar Sox batting. So Ryan McBroom hit a sacrifice fly. Runner from third was Garrett Whitley, scored on the sac fly. So Mesa takes the early 1-0 lead. But Peoria gets it right back in the top of the second inning. Let's see what happened there. It was a triple by Darius Moses, and then he scored on a ground out by Deion Stafford. So the game is now tied up 1-1 here in the second inning. Get through 3 innings. Peoria scores once again. And now it is the bottom of the fourth. Let's see. Johnny Bontrager is okay at 65 pitches. No, he was only 80% rested. But I think he'll be able to get us through 5 innings. Yeah, now he is tired. So let's go to all pitchers. Let's get up another guy in our organization. Why not? Cliff Gallahan. We'll get Mr. Gallahan up. Get through here the bottom of the 5th inning. And we do tie it up 2-2, which is perfect, because now we can get Cliff Gallahan in the game. Let's go until runners in scoring position, and he does not get through the inning unscathed. So 1 out here. Here is Zach Shields, a left-handed batter. So 1-2 count, 2 Shields. Pitch, strikes out looking. A 150 hitter against Mesa. So now there are 2 away here in the top of the 6th inning. And now that brings up Deion Stafford, the 6 hitter in the Javelinas lineup. 2-2 count to Stafford. He grounds it to our shortstop, but he cannot throw it over to first base. Narciso Crook, to third. So now runners on the corners with 2 away, 1-1 count, and the ball gets away from the catcher, and Peoria scores the go-ahead run in the top of the 6th on that passed ball. Now a 3-2 count, and that one is lifted out to center field, but I believe our center fielder will get that one, and he will. That retires the side, but they do score a run on that ball that got away from the catcher, and the score is now 3-2. See if we can get anything going in the bottom of the 6th. Yes, we can. So runners on first and second with 1 out here is Elliot Soto, 1-1 count to Soto, and he hits that one up the middle for a base hit. Runner comes around third. He's going to score, and the game is tied once again. Mesa has tied the game 3-3 in the bottom of the 6th. Now, still 1 out. Runners on first and second here is Garrett Whitley, so the lineup has turned over. Whitley on an 0-0 count. Oh, it's a new pitcher, actually, for Peoria, and that's going to be a pop-up into the infield, and that will be 2 away. Whitley doing a little first pitch swinging, and it does not work out for him. That brings up Mason Davis, 0-1 count to Davis, and he hits that one out to center field, but the center fielder for them, Bolt, will get to that one with ease, and that's 3 down, but Mesa does manage to tie up the game in the bottom of the 6th, and Galhan lets up 2 runs in the top of the 7th inning, unfortunately, so we will take him out, and we will put in perhaps this guy. Yeah, why not? Jeremy Gimmick. So let's see if we can get anything going here in the bottom of the 7th. Yes, we can. First and second, no outs. Javon Shelby with a 60 power rating. A home run would be excellent here. 2-0 count to Shelby. Hits the one right at the third baseman, and that is 1 away. J.D. Davis now up at the dish. 1-2 count. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. So the Solar Sox started this inning with runners on first and second, no outs, and it looks like they might not even get a run out of it. 3-2 count, and that one is hit to the right side of the infield, but right at the second baseman. And that is that for the 7th inning. We are now going to put in a new pitcher, Jeremy Gimmick. So we'll put him in. Hopefully he can get us through a clean 8th, and yes, he can. Now, I believe the bottom half of the lineup for us is up, and let's go to all pitchers. Let's get up him. Sure, why not? Yeah, the bottom of the lineup is up for us, so let's see if we can get anything going. No, we cannot, and now we are going to replace Gimmick with Stephen Farnsworth. Hopefully he can get us through a clean top of the 9th. Yes, he can. No runs allowed, so the lineup has flipped over for the Mesa Solar Sox. 2, 3, 4 hitters are due up. Let's see if we can do anything. 0-0 count to Mesa Davis now is a full count. He flied out last time, and he strikes out swinging now. The Solar Sox down to their final 2 outs. Here is Cameron Bear, who hits that one out to deep left. Does it have enough? Yes, it does. Off the scoreboard in left field. 360 feet. A bomb by Cameron Bear, but the lead is still 5-4. Let's see if that gives the Solar Sox the momentum they need to tie this game up. Here's Ryan McBroom, a 1-2 count. And that will be a swing and a miss. Solar Sox down to their final out. Here's Javon Shelby up at the plate. Full count pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. That'll do it. Peoria edges Mesa 5-4. And they are your 2022 Arizona Fall League champions, winning the championship game over your Mesa Solar Sox 5-4. Rough ending. We almost tied it up there at the end. Those 2 runs that we let up in the 7th. Obviously very tough. We could not come back from that ultimately. But there it is. Mesa Solar Sox did end up making the championship this year. We could just not get it done in the championship game. But still, that was fun. That was a lot of fun, I think. Salary arbitration is, let's go back. Where do I want to go? Miami. That's what I want. Salary arbitration is coming up, and then we'll see what free agents filed. Let's just simulate up ahead here. And we do get Rick Adair. That will be our pitching coach, formerly of the Los Angeles Dodgers, who usually had one of the best pitching staffs in the league. We'll see if that can translate here with the Miami Marlins arbitration hearings. Free agency filings are now in a day. And we get Mike Matheny to be our bench coach. That's everyone I wanted. And now I actually just remembered I have to hire a scouting director, so I'll do that off screen. But free agency filings now are tomorrow. So let's see. Any intriguing international guys that filed. Those are always good to look at first because they typically don't want as much money as the major league guys. It looks like, no, this is a very weak, okay, so it seems like this guy's the best guy, but still, I'm not going to, $23 million now. Yeah, so it's kind of a weak international class compared to some of the others I've seen. But let's take a look here and see what free agents filed, just the best ones, and then we'll see what this team really needs. So sort by overall. Whoops. There we go. So the best free agents that filed, looking at all players, Brad Hand, Gary Sanchez filed for free agency. Kyle Bearclough, Carlos Carrasco, JT Chargeau, Alex Faedo, Carlos Martinez, Brandon Mara, Mike Morin, Chris Sale, Robert Stevenson, Jamison Tyone, Ronald Torreyes, and Jose Abreu, Jake Diekman, Josh Donaldson, Gregory Polanco, Anthony Rendon, just some of the names. So let's take a look and see what exactly we need here. So as always, let's clear the pitching staff, sort by game started. We're going to go with a 5-man rotation next year, of course, starting number 1. So Braxton Garrett has really developed nicely. He has now become a 4-star pitcher. That seems like that happened like out of nowhere. So I think perhaps maybe Garrett. Nah, I don't know. I'd like to see maybe. I'll let Doherty be the number 1. I'll have Garrett be the number 2. I know it really doesn't matter in the long term, but Bontrager can be the number 3. I would not be opposed to having Ballman as our number 4. And it seems like we could. Oh, well, AJ Moore will be the number 5, I suppose. And I'd be fine with that rotation, so we don't need to sign a starting pitcher. We could go for perhaps a relief pitcher. That would be great. I think Austin Franklin could become one of our stoppers in 7th and close games. Let's see. Jose Barrios, I would not mind giving a chance to be a stopper either. And Caleb Dirks, he's been our stopper before, so let's give him the chance to do that. Colomb, I want him being a middle relief guy. Sixto, I'll have him being a middle relief guy. Cabrera, he doesn't really have a spot anymore on this team. If he'd be fine being a middle relief pitcher, I'd be fine having him. I just don't know if that's going to be fine with him, but we'll see. So we really just need maybe like a bullpen arm or two, and take a look now at the lineups. We want to clear all the lineups, clear all the depth charts. Christian Vasquez can start at catcher, even though he doesn't want to be here, followed by Shane Rowland. We do need a first baseman, it would seem. Carpio, I think, can start at second base. I'd be fine with that. Cortez, maybe he should be starting, although he's not as good defensively as Carpio. I don't know. We'll wait and see. John Dean, okay, he kind of needs to play second, so maybe Carpio. Yeah, Carpio can play short. John Dean, I'd like to see what I could get for John Dean in a trade, honestly. So we'll slot John Dean in there. Lucius Fox, okay, so Lucius can play first. I'd be fine with that. Michael Chavis can play third base. Why not? That's how I'm storing it in right now. Okay, so we need outfielders aside from Kelenic. We need offensive. That's what we need. We need bats. That's what we need badly. We need bats in free agency, so I'm going to cut away. I'm going to get a scouting director. I'm going to try to find some offers for maybe Dean just to see what I could get for him. If I could get like a bat, that'd be great because his value's just going down. Yeah, so I'm going to try to find some bats in free agency, find some offers for some guys maybe to trade like Vasquez and Dean, and get a scouting director, and then I will be back when I get all of those items checked off of my checklist. All right, we are back. It is Saturday, January 14th, 2023, and I have filled out what should be my 2023 Major League roster. So let's take a look at what I did. We will start with the pitching staff. So as I said, I left the starting rotation completely untouched. I signed a couple of free agent relievers in JT Chargeau, who will be back by the start of the season, and Alex Faedo. Now, Faedo, he is going to be I hope, a really good relief pitcher for us. Now, OSA thinks he could still develop that change. Right now, he's going to be a big middle relief guy for us, and hopefully he'll become a stopper for us in the future. You know, probably this year, I'd imagine he'll take over one of the stopper roles. And if we ever need someone to make a spot start, Faedo will probably be number 1 on that list. But that's all I did in terms of pitching. The lineup, of course, is where things really changed. I signed a lot of guys. So just going down the depth chart here, I signed Jose Abreu, very popular in the Miami area, to a 1-year, $7 million deal. I said it multiple times last season, this team did not have any power whatsoever, especially when we traded Tellez. So I knew I needed to find some guys with power in free agency or through trade or whatever this offseason just to get some power back in the lineup. And we get a guy in Jose Abreu for just 1 year, who OPS close to 800 last year with Seattle in 119 games started, 120 total, 24 home runs, 71 RBIs. No speed to speak of. He's not very good defensively, but hopefully he can mitigate that with the power that he adds to the lineup. Matt Carpenter we signed. Our owner wanted an upgrade at third, so I hope Carpenter ends up being that upgrade at third base. He won't be a huge upgrade, but hopefully he'll be a small upgrade. A crowd pleaser. They love his work ethic and personality. He is solid defensively. He doesn't really have any speed anymore. He is 37 years old. He's not really great with the bat, but he still has solid gap power. He can still work a count up there. Avoiding strikeouts will probably be an issue, as I'm I just need stopgaps for a lot of my guys like Christopher Martinez, Ben Melee, Ron Roybal, guys like the off organization. We signed him to, I believe, a 3-year deal. Yep, a 3-year deal with an average annual value of $12.48 million. Turner never shows any lack of effort. Really good defensively. He's got a lot of speed to him. He can run the bases, solid contact, great gap power. He's got a little pop in that bat. So we're going to see if he can become one of our best offensive threats this year. We did get Hunter Renfroe in the Rule 5 draft just because of his power and defense. As I mentioned, he's going to end up being a stopgap until a guy like Juan Roybal or Ben Melee is ready to go. Not really great contact-wise. He's going to have major issues at the plate with his eye and his inability to avoid strikeouts. But the power was intriguing. As I said, the defense, of course, also intriguing. So we're going to take a chance on him, see if maybe he could become a solid piece for us. And we also signed George Springer, the former Houston Astro. We're going to give him a chance to kind of recoup his value. He has not been very good the past several years, but we're going to give him a chance to be the guy. He's another guy who we signed who are essentially a 1-year deal, $6.19 million for the team option for next year, but I don't think we're going to bring him back. I just don't think we'll have the space if everything goes according to plan. So we'll get If you take a look at his defensive ratings, position ratings, I'd rather have Hunter Renfroe in left. I'd rather have Kelenic in right. That's by Matt Carpenter, Trey Turner, Hunter Renfroe, Jose Abreu, George Springer, Lucius Fox, and Christian Vasquez rounding it out. Now, another thing I wanted to do was add like some leaders and some captains to the team, and it's a good thing that I got Springer because unbeknownst to me, we had some clubhouse issues last year. So hopefully getting Springer helps. He's going to be one of our leaders. I forgot to record the team chemistry screen. If you can't tell, this is a post commentary because I accidentally knocked the USB cord out of my mic. But yeah, I forgot to record the team chemistry. But now we're going to have 2 team leaders in George Springer and that backup infielder you saw, Tommy Edman. We're going to have a few leaders in at least guys like Caleb Dirks, Matt Caesar, Michael Chavis, guys like that. We'll have a spark plug in John Dean, and we will have a prankster, which is something I don't think we've had in quite a while, if at all, on this team in this franchise series, in Matt Caesar as well. So hopefully, if morale is down, hopefully the goal is that Caesar can keep spirits high in the Miami locker room, especially for like losing a lot of games or something like that. But that'll be all for episode number 21. Thank you for listening to both the live part of this and the post commentary that I'm doing right now. I will see you next time for episode number 22, where we will start the 2023 MLB season. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you next time. Enjoy the rest of your day.